It's Mary Beth Rahali from Braid Secrets. I'm back with a new video in my Expert Mane Braiding Hacks series. Today we're talking about the letter K, and I'll be testing your knowledge and sharing professional braider secrets on identifying mane types and preparing manes for good, fast braiding. So let's get started. Letter K is for know the mane type. Do you know what type of mane your horse has and how to best prepare it for braiding? Let's do a quick quiz to find out. Can you identify the mane type in each of the photos below? Well, the mane on the left is a thin mane, the center mane is a thick mane, and the mane on the right is an average mane. So how did you do? Did you get them all right? Learning to identify mane type is the first step in preparing for braiding. Okay, next question. Which mane type needs to be kept shorter for braiding so the braids are stable and less likely to twist? So the answer is the thin mane because braids created on thin manes have less hair anchoring them, and so they are more likely to twist, be less stable throughout the show day. So that's why this type of mane needs to be kept a little bit shorter. Okay, question 3. Which mane type are you thinning in the middle before shortening the entire mane in preparation for braiding? Well, you're right if you said the average mane, because average manes are thicker in the middle and thinner at the pull and withers. And so you want to preserve the hair in those areas, and you want to thin out the central portion of the mane and then shorten the entire mane so that the braids are more evenly spaced and you have an even bottom line across the neck. Okay, this is our last question. Which mane type will be difficult to braid if the hair ends are too blunt? Thick mane will certainly be the hardest to braid, but actually it's a little bit of a trick question. All three of these manes will be more difficult to braid if the hair ends are too blunt. This is why I teach the old clipper blade method of shortening a mane and tapering it, where you're backcombing hair and using the clipper blades to kind of taper and shorten the mane. Tapering is key to preventing a mane becoming too blunt, because blunt ends make it really difficult to tie the braids off at the bottom, and then the big blunt end doesn't want to fit up in the little small space of the crest underneath the braid, and so it just it puts you in a world of hurt and it makes braiding way more difficult. The bottom line is, when you know the mane type you're braiding, you're going to be able to customize your mane preparation, and that's going to give you a leg up on braiding, so that you can get the best braiding results and make the mane faster and easier to braid, right? It might surprise you to know that riders rave about the mane evaluation and preparation part of my video braiding workshop, because a lot of people never learn really how to evaluate manes and prepare them, and so they struggle with braiding. And once they learn the techniques and how to identify the different manes, what to do when, it's a game changer for them. So let's talk about how to prepare different mane types for braiding. Now, if your horse has a thin manes are never pulled because you're trying to preserve the hair that you have. So, but you do want to shorten that mane to about 4 inches long after it clears the crest. And when you're shortening it, you're of course tapering those hair ends. Average manes, you want to pull the thick areas of the mane, usually that's the middle section, to even out the thickness of the mane, and then shorten the mane to about 4 to 5 inches long after it clears the crest. If the mane tends to be a little coarse, you're going to want to leave it closer to 5 inches long because it's harder to grasp and braid down. Now, thick manes, you want to pull over a couple weeks' time if you can, because you want to get them to be a manageable thickness to braid. It's much easier on your horse if you do this over a couple weeks' time, and plus then you don't have a lot of regrowth of the mane that becomes a braiding problem later. And for thick manes, you want to shorten the mane to about 5 to 6 inches long. Again, you want to leave it that little bit longer after it clears the crest, because a thick, coarse mane is harder to braid down. And so you need a little bit more hair to grasp to do a good job. I thought I'd share what one rider had to say about mane evaluation and preparation after learning my pro tips. She said, I have loved your options on how to really, quote, prepare a mane. I always dreaded braiding a mane that I didn't know. Now, within a few minutes, I feel I have the tools to make a mane more manageable and also know exactly what I need to do to make it manageable. Here's a fun fact. I can usually prepare a mane and braid it in less time than it would take me to just braid the unprepared mane as is. So it's really a time savings as well to do your mane prep. In an effort to help fellow riders learn more of these skills for mane preparation and braiding, I created a free resource library at braidsecrets.com. If you'd like more help with braiding, you can subscribe for access to the library. I'll leave a link in the video description below. Here's a quick recap of what you learned. A recipe for braiding success for hunter and dressage braids is to first learn to identify different mane types so you know what you're braiding. Then prepare that mane for braiding based on the mane type. This is going to save you a ton of time and get you the best braiding results with greater ease, and that is always the goal. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the free resource library for more help.